Hello. I want to talk Adventure
Well,
Time.
that's Fran, Georgia, and Greer today. Hey.
Hey. Um, I I like now legitimately live and breathe Adventure Time.
We.
Hey, good choice.
I'll
You're
tell you
about
what.
2 years late, but we.
I
Not late. It's not like the show's over.
I mean, I like fuck if it ends soon, like because it's apparently on like season 5 now. I'm gonna be devastated because I will have
It's
missed
not going
out.
to end anytime
People
soon.
still watch it, so it's not going to end anytime soon.
I
Yeah.
It will probably go on forever, like SpongeBob.
I
Oh,
hope
And I will
so.
not mind it in the slightest, just like SpongeBob.
And it's a brilliant show. Like I have so much to say about it because I'm like 5 years late to this fandom. Like I resisted it for so long because like the kids shows of my childhood were particularly good. Like Hey Arnold, Animaniacs, Dexter's Lab, all that crap, Pinky and the Brain. Um, I didn't think anything in terms of like the creativity, the emotional depth, the writing, the animation could live up to those memories. And I really thought Adventure Time would just kind of be some dumb hipster show, but it's brilliant. It's the characters are fantastic. Like it's so daring, it's so inventive. Like I've never seen anything like it. And I was saying earlier, like every generation you have like a Ren and Stimpy or a SpongeBob, but I feel like this show, like it's expanding so much on what those shows did. It's so much more daring, it's so much more creative.
Yeah.
And I love those shows, but yeah, Adventure Time just it blows me away.
I mean,
Like
Yeah,
I
but,
just
but
so
you have
much.
to think, like, I mean, when people are like, man, I miss the cartoons from the 90s, and I'm like, not every cartoon in the 90s was good. You remember the ones that are good.
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah.
forget about the ones that were terrible. There were
That's,
terrible shows. I mean,
no, there
Yeah.
were. You're right. Angela Anaconda springs to mind.
I didn't like
Hey, I liked
Recess.
Angela Anaconda, and I'm probably the only person who did, but I liked it.
I didn't like Recess.
Hey, Georgia.
And like
I like-
anything on Disney Channel, like super early 2000s that was a cartoon, I didn't really enjoy that much.
I think at the time I was obsessed with Recess, but now I look back and I'm like, that's
Yeah, Recess, I didn't like it that much.
You know
Fran,
what?
I know what you mean about Adventure Time being like a hipster thing, because like from the way it's animated and how they talk, you could totally get that impression. But
Yeah,
when
I mean,
when I saw it, I saw like the original pilot, like long ago, when like the show was like barely anything. They made like a little cartoon short about it, and like it didn't have a lot of the cast. Like Finn was somebody else, and the Ice King was someone else, and it was like still really cute though. So I'm like, I hope this picks up, and eventually it did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like it's amazing, and you're totally right. Like you really could be mistaken looking at it like that. It's cool, and it thinks it's too cool to be a proper kids show or to have decent characters or like. But nothing could be further from the truth. Like it is the most creative, beautiful. I just fell
I
in
got
love
my
with
mom
it.
to watch a few minutes of it, and that's like a rare feat in of itself.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this, Georgia. It's really hard to get our parents to watch animated show, and like Greer as well. Like
They're
getting.
so tame.
My mom wanted to go see Brave with me.
Did she? Oh, that's
No,
cool.
she didn't. That's what I was trying to say. My mom wouldn't go see Brave with me because it's a cartoon.
Parents
Yeah.
just don't understand.
Parents don't understand. My dad watched Spirited Away one time. That was about it.
That's cool. Great. By the way, before or for those of you that don't know, which is all of you, considering you can't hear us when we're not on the podcast,
I just want to talk about like, because you're talking about Adventure Time being like too cool for itself, and I'm like, I was talking to you earlier about how like most kid shows now, like that came after Adventure Time, are trying kind of to do the same thing, like a regular show which airs after Adventure Time kind of tries to do that same thing. Except I think number one, they did come around the same time, which was really weird, so it's hard to say if there was copying involved. But number two, I think that regular show actually kind of nails it sometimes. Steven Universe is another example, which is kind of trying to have that same kind of humor and style, but it also nails it. I love Steven Universe, but I mean, there are other shows on Cartoon Network that are trying to do the same thing right now, but are just completely missing it, and I think the only shows that are really doing it well are regular show and Steven Universe.
But probably to a degree, they're still the reason that they're working is that ostensibly,
That Adventure Time worked, so they're like, oh, this type of humor can work, and we're pulling in an older audience.
But
and it's marketable as hell.
Yeah, it is marketable.
They're still their own thing. Like, I guess, like, they're not just carbon copies of Adventure Time. Like, I imagine the reason that they work is because they're still unique visions.
Yeah.
You know, whereas, like, I think what I really like about Adventure Time, like, is the fact that, like, yeah, there were a lot of great shows in the 90s, but Adventure Time, like, I feel like nothing has ever been like it before. Like, it's a completely unique thing, and like that's how you make it so. Like, you don't look at a formula and say, well, that worked, how can we reinvent it?
And I'm not trying to say that, like, just to clarify, like, there aren't really any shows that are trying to do, like, the same story or the same characters as Adventure Time, but they're trying to do the same kind of humor, like the lol so random kind of humor. Which is not actually that kind of humor, but they're, like, kind of trying to, like... I can't really describe that kind of humor, but there are shows that are trying to do that same kind of humor and are just not working.
I mean, I think the thing with Adventure Time is that actually, like, there's a great deal of intelligence behind it. You know, it's not just lol random humor. Like, again, like, ostensibly that's what it is, but when you keep watching it, you realize it's much deeper than that.
Yeah.
And it is deep. It is deep. Like, I can already tell that because the writing is too good for it not to be deep.
And we've told you that it gets deep, so...
Yeah, you did kind of tell me that
I just love, though, like... I don't know, like, each episode, you never know where it's gonna go. You never know if it's gonna be a happy episode, if it's gonna be a random episode, if it's gonna be creepy, if it's gonna be sad. It's always mixed bag. And, like, shows these days, or I think ever... really don't do that, and I think to me that's why it's so special.
Yeah, I think what Adventure Time is doing is trying to not follow any sort of predetermined kids show or plot formula.
They really don't. Like, you know,
here's the characters, here's a problem that happens, and here's how we're gonna solve this problem.
And you want to know how they come up with that stuff? Apparently, all they do is they play D&D, and they use their characters, like, from the show as characters in their game, and that's how they, like, come up with episodes.
Wow, do you know what, like, that's a great idea, because inevitably you're gonna find more, like...
I know, it's so fascinaning, you know?
No, that's incredible, and it really works, because it's like the Magic Man episode, for instance. It's like, the moral in the episode with the Magic Man, where Finn gets turned into a foot, like, is that some people are just jerks, and that's a much more real moral, and it's like, if you go down that really organic route with, okay, we're just going to take our characters and we're going to play with them and we're going to see where things go, then you're going to get more organic and ultimately more real stories. I can't believe I'm using reality in relation to Adventure Time, but...
What, you didn't know that the Land of Ooh is real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's down where my town.
If you like Adventure Time, I would go online, and Pendleton Ward makes this show online called Bravest Warriors.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and and he does it online, I guess, so he doesn't have to fit to any sort of, like, corporate standard or anything. But it's on this channel called Cartoon Hangover, and I think he has a lot of say in that. I'm not really sure how much pull he has in that, but he writes this show, and the art is Adventure Time, but it's these little, like, 10-minute episodes, and it's called Bravest Warriors, and it's, like, so fucking awesome. There's this little character in there called Catbug, and he's, like, the cutest thing.
Aww.
Way cuter than anything you've ever seen. And he's actually voiced by, like, this 5-year-old kid.
That's what I also love about Adventure Time. Like, they get kids, like, actual kids. Yeah. And even for characters that aren't, like, human, you know? Like, they're just child size.
And I think there's another show, I think, on Cartoon Hangover, that is from someone who worked on Adventure Time. It's called Bee and Puppy Cat, and that's also pretty good. So
is Puppy Cat related to Cat Dog?
No, Bee and Puppy Cat is pretty good, and I think it's from a girl who worked on Adventure Time. So It has a lot of that same kind of charm to it. So, Bee and Puppycat and Bravest Warriors are both really awesome.
So, Fran, how far have you gotten into Adventure Time? Like, what season are you on, I guess?
I'm still on season 1. I've gotten as far as the episode where Finn becomes Marceline's henchman, and realizes that Marceline isn't evil. Spoiler.
God, you have so much ahead of you. You really do.
I'm so excited. Right, here's what I want to see more of. I want to see more Tree Trunks because she blew up.
She'll come back, yep.
Let's see what other wish you request.
And I want to see I want to see more of the Ice King because I've heard that he has a really
You'll definitely get that wish.
We'll definitely get more Ice King.
Yeah.
Fortunately and unfortunately.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. I want to see Finn grow up, which apparently he does, which I think is really
his voice changes a little in some episodes, and not only that, but he also learns more about girls and relationships. So.
By the way, the kid that plays Finn is brilliant. Like, just all the weird shit he does with his voice. Like,
yeah.
It's still like a teenage boy voice. Like, he's not putting anything on. But, like, that screaming thing he does, and, like, he just seems like a really, like, inventive, daring young actor. Like,
yeah.
I think in the voice acting industry, like, he is gonna go far. Like, I hope he's, like, in 20 years, like, he's a new, like, Rob Paulson or, like, John DiMaggio or something. Like,
apparently, like, I heard, actually, I think Joe showed me this, or someone showed me this, like, the promos they had for when they were making the cartoon was the boy who played Finn dressed up as Finn and ran around, like, I guess it was LA or something, or some crowded city, ran around asking people just random questions, just like, will you high-five me? Do you think my costume's awesome? Do you know what time it is? You know, stuff like that.
Adventure Time!
It was adorable, though. Like, he had the hat and his sword, and it was so cute, and he was, like, so into it.
That was when he was still, like, little. He's, like, 16 or something now.
The people around him were, like, pretty cool with it, you know? It was awesome.
Yeah, well, like a cute 12-year-old kid or whatever, like, you're not going to complain. And also it's New York, or, no, it was LA.
I don't know where it was. It was just some big city. Okay.
So, he is brilliant. Like, so I want to see more Tree Trunks because she blew up, and I want that to not happen.
It did. Well, kind of. You'll see. She's fine.
Okay. Oh, good.
That's
good.
not a spoiler, by the way.
I want to see. I've heard that there's something. Again, like, I've really, really tried not to spoil it for myself. But I accidentally saw something about Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, and I didn't read on, but I'm curious to see.
They aren't lesbians.
That's the thing with people. People think that they are lesbians or that they had a relationship, and it hasn't been confirmed. But some people think it's been hinted at. But to me, I think it's just that they're friends. But like Marceline can be kind of grouchy and stuff.
People want to look into it more than it actually is.
Yeah, they really do.
Oh, well,
because so many older people are into it, like the Tumblr crowd, and the Tumblr crowd tries to see those kinds of things that aren't actually there.
Yeah.
But,
I was having a conversation with my friend Phoebe about this, because that really annoys her as well, but I can completely see why people do it, because, like, if there is very little representation out there, which there still is very little, like, just in comparison to how much straight representation there is out there, like, you're gonna look for it. You're gonna look for coded gay characters.
I mean, just so it's clear, like, if the writers or Pendleton Ward came out and said, yeah, they're lesbians, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to that in any way. I would not care. It's just all this speculation, and then people going off and saying, like, oh, well, if you don't think that they're lesbians, then you're homophobic.
I know,
that's what annoys me. That's what really gets to me. I'm like, you're delusional. Like, you're an idiot.
I know, but no, really though, like with the clues, I guess, that they've given, I don't see it. I just see it as that they're really close friends.
I just see that they used to be friends.
Yeah, but Marceline doesn't want to be anymore because she's moody. That's really all I see.
Because they're fucking teenagers. That's what happened when I was a teenager.
Well, an eternal teenager, which has to suck, you know.
Well, I'm gonna withhold judgment until when I see it, we'll have to talk about it on the next podcast.
Well, yeah. I don't think it's anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
To be fair, I can see where that would come from, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can see why people would read into it like that, but I don't think that that's actually the case.
I agree.
I mean, I think, I guess for me, it's like I understand the speculation because I've done it, and it definitely isn't just kind of like titillation. Like, it comes from a genuine desire, I think, just to see more like representation out there, like, um, and like I think like also probably for a kids TV show, it's hard for creators to be able to come out and say these things directly. So like it's possible, I guess, that they could have like kind of coded it in there for the people that wanted to see it. But I don't like.
Well, I mean, at its core, Adventure Time, its target audience is children. Children don't really care about that stuff.
Yeah.
No, well, you say its target audience is children, but I definitely think that shows now, they're aware of the fact, like kids shows
Oh yeah,
now
they
are
know
aware.
that older people watch, but I mean, like, the
You know,
people,
they
the
know-
people that make My Little Pony aren't gonna cater specifically to the brony audience, even though that they're fully aware that they're there.
But they are going to partly.
Partly,
Like, they-
yeah, but I mean, at its core, they're making that show for children because A, it's on the fucking Hub, and that is a children's network, and I mean, B, I think the Hub is, you know, they're related to like Fox or Disney or some shit. I'm not really sure, but
No, well, I agree. I think it would be very, very difficult for My Little Pony to get away with coded gay characters.
or just anything like that, you know, everything that bronies want. They're like, we want an episode about sexual abuse, and I'm like, this is a children's show.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Seriously, like.
Well, it's not even bronies that are saying that. That's like really hardcore people that are like, we need episodes of stuff about rape, and I'm like, no, we don't in a children's show. No, we don't.
Show.
Really?
Certainly not on
hell?
Like, that's totally the wrong, like. I mean, are you serious? Is this something that has actually been like?
Yeah, I've seen it.
If you really want that, just go on the internet, check out fanfics. That's
I don't
probably
think a 5-year-old needs to watch an episode of
Yeah,
My
you
Little
don't-
Pony having to do with rape.
You don't need to expose kids to that. If you
I don't
are,
need Pinkie Pie talking about that shit.
yeah, that's messed up.
The thing is, like, it's
Remember when Sonic tried to do that shit? That didn't go over well.
Yeah.
oh, but like
That's no
especially-
good.
No good.
Like, the thing is, like, it's like there is a place for it, like, and there's a
There's
place,
for it,
kids.
but not in Adventure Time and My Little Pony.
No,
fanfic.net.
no.
For it.
I mean, the thing is, like, you can teach. It's a really difficult one because you can teach kids, and you should teach kids about, like, what I liked about Sesame Street was they would find like really fun ways of teaching kids, like, about things like consent, like really like subtle,
Subtle.
I beg your pardon.
fun, subtle. What the fuck, Fran? I'm getting.
Just combine words. It's
The word of the day is subtle.
Today's episode was brought to you by the letter F. But like, yeah, like they would find like fun, subtle ways of teaching kids about things like consent and about things like telling an adult stuff. But like,
Stranger danger.
yeah, like shit like that. But like, you can't go all out there with that stuff. Like, you don't want to upset children. You don't want to take away some aspect of their childhood. Like, there's a way of doing these things. Like, and I feel like the internet community would have kids grow up way too fast.
Well, the internet community, maybe. I think if it's, I would say it's more the advertising community, and the internet is just a result of that because people are just talking about it there, where you can talk about it freely. But you don't. If you're on the internet, you don't have to go to those places. Advertising, that shit's everywhere, and you're stuck with it whether you like it or not. You know. Am I making any sense?
Yeah, no, you're making perfect sense.
Okay.
I guess I just mean more like Well, yeah, like Greer was saying, so wanting to have kind of an explicit sexual abuse episode of My Little Pony, like, I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's creepy.
I know, right? It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about furries. I like, to be totally honest, ultimately, Greer, I think those people are probably just furries and they want to justify it somehow.
I don't know. I mean, usually the people I see talk about that really want it are like anti-brony. Like, they don't like bronies. They're like, bronies are creepy. Even though I'm friends with way too many bronies, by the way. None of them are into that Rule 34 shit. They're like, they think it's disgusting.
I mean, like, I think the thing with Rule 34 is, like, just because something can be found, it doesn't mean it should.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
that's most people's, like, a stereotypical brony is, like, super creepy and into pony porn and clopping and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've never met one.
But I love that thing of, like, as someone who, like, obsessively follows a fandom enough to know what a brony is then saying, like, oh, bronies are creepy, like, they do exactly what we do, but they're creepy, like, and it's like, well, like, what do you want? Like, why are you superior to all the other people that are on the internet talking about friendship is magic? But,
I don't jerk off to ponies.
Yeah, I jerk off to animal porn like a normal person.
Yeah, really.
No, I mean, like, again, like, I don't want to judge furries. Like, it's fine with. I don't want to judge.
Most furries I know are perfectly nice people.
Well, I mean, it's like I shipped, like, we were talking earlier actually about shipping, and like I shipped childhood characters, like, but the thing is, like, I didn't ship them in like a romantic way, not in a creepy way. That's how I justify it to myself. But no, like, yeah, I don't.
I ship Thor and Loki, but not in a creepy way.
But, like,
yeah, Greer.
Like, no, you can ship Thor and Loki in a creepy way. That's fine. But like, so for instance, like the Hey Arnold fandom, like I super ship Arnold and Helga, but like clearly that's not a creepy sexual thing. That's like they were a really adorable couple from my childhood, and I think that's fine. I think that's okay. I don't particularly sweat that too much. And it's like the Avenue Q puppets, like, again, you know, they're interesting three-dimensional characters. I think it's fine to ship them. Like, it's shipping things. I think you can ship things without it being sexual.
Can you? I've never really
It's when
heard
it
of
does
that.
get sexual that it's, like, kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, you can ship people in a romantic way. You can think, oh, it would be
I just said I don't ship Thor and Loki, but I ship Thor and Loki, but not in a creepy way, but then I'm like, but in a sexual way. Totally.
that's fine, because they're, like, consenting human
That's totally
adults.
fine.
Oh,
like,
Thorky.
Thorky could give consent, and they are actually human, so that's, or humanoid anyway, so that's okay with me. And if it's okay with me, then that's okay. But yeah, I mean, like, you can ship people, like, you can think it would be lovely if two characters dated, and that's very different from writing fan fiction about them having sex.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So that's like, I think, like, that's how, like, and that's when I think of furries, like, I think of people that ship, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a furry is basically someone that ships characters that are animals. Is that right?
Well,
Am I
that and, like, more than that.
Stuff like animal sexually. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, okay. Well, if it's sexual, then yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
A
weird.
lot of furry stuff is sexual, but, I mean, a lot of furries that I know are, like, A, perfectly nice people, B, not really into sexual stuff, and C, are perfectly nice people.
Well, no, I think the perfectly nice thing can't be overstated. I mean, and that's
I've always
People
got
give
one
them such a bad rep, and I'm like, most of them are nice.
well, I think actually, like, that's the point as well. Like, if people aren't doing anyone any harm, like, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Live and live.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I don't really get the hate for bronies. It's like, they aren't, most of them aren't really doing anything wrong.
No,
They're
I mean,
not-
they're not
well,
hurting anybody. It's
most of
fine.
them, the ones that aren't into like the creepy shit, aren't doing anything wrong, and even the ones that are into the creepy shit, they're not bothering anyone.
Yeah.
they're not at all.
Most of
It's-
them aren't. If they are, then I have a problem. But
I mean,
if they
the-
are like just shoving it in everyone's face, then yeah, I have a problem. But
No, but I think that's fine. I think that's what the internet's for. It's so easy to kind of click away from something and move on to
Oh,
something
yeah.
else. If someone wants to blog obsessively about My Little Pony, then I say that's fine. You know, I'll look at it when I want to. I won't look at it when I don't want to. I have
Well,
no
if that's
problem.
what they want to do, then they are very welcome in the internet.
I mean,
I
yeah,
wanted.
thing-
Can we let? This is a creepy subject to move on from, but because I wanted to talk about Muppets Most Wanted, but
Oh yeah,
Way to
it's
go,
really
Greer.
hard to segue into Muppets.
So
without.
who's shipped the Muppets lately?
Sorry.
Who's shipped the Muppets lately?
Yeah, really.
I,
I'm like, the Muppets are like, how old are the Muppets now? Like 50 years old?
oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
they're definitely consenting
Now
adults.
people are getting into shipping the Muppets again, and I'm like, they're like bandwagon effect. Okay, I guess so.
I mean, I think it's going to be kind of hard to segue into this without people reading into it.
Hey,
So,
I saw Muppets Most Wanted last week.
by the way, how fucking
Great
awesome is it?
segue.
It was pretty fucking
That was
rad.
It was so
I
bad,
liked
right?
it better than the first one. I really did.
Yeah, See, that hasn't been the popular opinion,
Really?
but no, it hasn't. It's been getting mixed reviews, but I agree with you, Greer,
I
because
liked it better than the first one.
I think what was awesome about this one was that it was actually like, I loved Walter as a character and I loved Jason Segel and Amy Adams, but I liked the fact that the main characters in this one were the actual Muppets, the classic characters that we
Yeah.
remember.
I mean, I don't. This
So
is
fucking-
nothing against the first movie, by the way. I love the Muppets from 2012 was when it was made. I love that
Yeah.
movie, but I mean, I liked this one better. I don't know.
Yeah, I did.
I
I
liked
thought
the
it was.
plot better. I liked Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais and Tina Fey, and I liked all those characters better.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, I loved the songs.
Mainly because I like the actors better. Like, I love Ricky Gervais, so.
Yeah,
How
no,
was Tom
like,
Hiddleston's cameo?
And I love Tom Hiddleston's cameo.
it was so funny. And, Josh Groban's cameo,
Oh
that
my
was sweet.
god, I fucking was on the floor.
I actually, like, Georgia, I kind of almost feel bad for spoiling that for you now, but just don't
Josh
go,
Groban's in there somewhere. You gotta look out for him there.
don't go into it trying to second guess where he's going to turn up,
Don't
because
go
it's the,
trying to find Josh Groban. He'll appear.
like,
Oh
because,
no, that's fine. That's fine.
but, yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I loved the plot, I loved the songs, I loved the characters.
I like this soundtrack better than the last one, too.
Yeah, same here. I have to say though, like, okay, Ricky Gervais and Tina Fey, it's no secret that I love both of them. But for me, and I was surprised about this because I'm not a Modern Family fan, Ty Burrell, like, it totally fucking
Ty
stole
Burrell's
this.
I know you said that last
Edition.
week. You were like in love with him.
Like, honestly,
It
like,
was really
when
awesome,
you see it, like, you'll see why. Like, he was like scene stealing. He was so good.
Every time it went back to him and Sam Eagle, I was like, yes.
Yeah, tell me about it. But, like, again, like, I'll tell you what, Tina Fey has a beautiful singing voice. Like, and what's
Oh,
really
yeah.
sweet.
Is that really her singing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like,
really
wow.
all of them singing.
yeah, they
Wow.
all sing. But yeah, like, she was apparently really shy about her singing voice.
Aw.
Like, she
That's
was
what
the-
happens sometimes. The most beautiful voices are from the shyest people.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, like, I'm quite shy about my singing, but I think I have a
Me
nice.
too. I always feel kind of insecure about it.
Go on, Georgia, sing something. Give us a song.
God.
I don't know. What do you want?
Okay, the Adventure Time theme tune.
Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We go to very distant lands. And Jake the dog and Finn the human. The fun never ends. Adventure time! Let me crack the voice
Yay!
again.
See, I was just happy because that was Adventure Time, and I fucking live and breathe it, apparently. And
There's
also,
so many good songs in that show. Especially, I miss his auto-tune singing voice. Say that, I know what you crave. Or something like that. I miss when he would do that. It was so cool.
I was gonna say, like, that's something else that I want to see more of. Like, considering, like, I'm not very far in the show, I'm hoping I'll be able to see a bit more of the auto-tune singing.
I feel like does it a few more times, and then they stop it.
I'm so sad. I think, like, possibly one of my favorite moments in the show so far is him as a foot telling all the other freaks in the City of Freaks that they need to go and find the Magic Man. Oh, what's that?
Don't you love that Gort is fuck. Okay, I know he's from Star Trek, but I really just know him as Weasel Flam Weasel, okay?
He's Worf from Next Gen. He's so good.
He's Weasel, damn it.
It makes me so happy. Like, I didn't even know that was him, and then, like, I looked on the credits, and I was amused. I was highly amused. I approved.
But yeah, Muppets was good.
Yeah, sorry, we're back to Adventure Time now, but Muppets was fucking awesome. I think, like, I binged so heavily on the Muppets when I saw it last week that... Like,
yeah, I'm really late, and next week I'll be even later because I'm gonna try to see Captain America before the next podcast, so...
Well, you said something bizarre. You've seen the beginning of Captain America, you've seen the end of Captain America.
The middle part of Captain America I haven't seen.
Oh, wait, how did you see the middle, how did you see the beginning and the end, and not the middle?
On TV.
But
I tried to catch it on TV twice. The first time I had to leave to go somewhere, so I couldn't see the rest of it. And then there was one time where, like, the last 15 minutes of it were on. So, like, everything between the first 20 minutes and the last 15 minutes I haven't seen.
But are we talking about the first movie?
The first movie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I have to go watch the first movie in whole before I see Winter Soldier, which I'll probably do sometime today or tonight, and then I'll...
It's great. You don't really need to have seen the first...
I don't care, I want to.
Okay. I'm just saying it's not required.
I would like... I need to, though, anyway, so...
Okay.
I can be informed on Captain America.
Great. Can you do... Oh, actually, no, Georgia, can you do your lumpy space princess voice?
Oh my glob, Captain America is so lumping gorgeous. With those sexy muscles. He wouldn't be able to resist my lumps when I came over there.
See, I really need to see more lumpy space princess as well.
She'll be there, don't worry.
Yeah, she'll be there. Because she's so lumping cool.
I didn't even know that she was meant to be a woman until, like, halfway through the episode.
You know what's even funnier is when they get to the gender swap episode, she's Lumpy Space Prince, but literally the only difference between them is that Lumpy Space Prince has, like, some stubble.
Yeah, they have the same voice.
They have the same voice and the same shape, but it's just some stubble.
That's fucking awesome.
Great.
I told you that Neil Patrick Harris was in the Genderman episode, and you were like...
Yeah,
The second one isn't, Marshall Lee. He's like a guy from Community, isn't he? Right?
I think so.
The black guy from Community.
Was it Donald Glover?
Donald Glover.
Yeah,
Wait, Donald Glover and...
He's Marshall Lee.
Yeah.
Donald Glover and Neil Patrick Harris are in this episode. Jesus Christ.
Well, there's two Genderman episodes.
For now.
One of them focuses on Prince Gumball, who's Neil Patrick Harris, and Fiona. And then the next one, in the first one, you see Marshall Lee, who's the gender bent of Marceline. But then the second one they have is all about Marshall Lee.
Marshall Lee is hot.
He is hot.
He's so
For
hot.
a lanky, emo cartoon vampire, he's pretty hot.
Well, I just love vampires anyway, so...
I was thinking about this because I'm really getting back into Buffy. Like, when I have kids, I'm just gonna, like, I'm gonna wait until they're, like, 5, and I'm gonna get a picture of Spike from Buffy, and I'm gonna get a picture of Robert Pattinson, and I'm just gonna explain, vampire, douchebag. Vampire.
You'll be doing the world a great service.
Douchebag. I mean, I really feel like I should be able to give a lecture on that. Like you say, I would be doing the world a service. Like, it would be the next and inconvenient truth.
Oh my god.
Vampire.
Someone has to.
Sorry?
Somebody should do that, and if it's you, then so be it.
Well, yeah, precisely. I feel like somebody needs to jump on that bandwagon.
Yes. Fran, the world needs you.
Okay, all right.
I finally developed a marketable skill. Like, yeah, fuck the elderly. I'm just going to explain to people the difference between Spike and Robert Pattinson. And there is a big difference.
I wanted to talk about real life for a second, because there's stuff going on in late night in late night television that is meaning a lot to me.
What's up?
Because everyone knows that I love late night television, and
You really do, man.
I really do. David Letterman's retiring, which kind of makes me sad because I was just starting to get into David Letterman and how grumpy and awesome he is. I love that he's like a crotchety old man now that does not give a fuck. Like, that's my favorite part about him.
I think the moment where I went from like being kind of neutral about David Letterman to loving him was when Ricky Gervais was on there, one of his million guest appearances, and they're just kind of shooting the shit, and Ricky Gervais goes, "Oh, hang on, wait, I've got a bit of a beef with you," and David Letterman just goes, "No, you have no beef with me," and just him up.
But anyway, so it was announced this week that Stephen Colbert is taking over for David.
But why? He has his own show.
Well, I guess he's ending Colbert Report. I don't know.
But he shouldn't. It's doing so well.
David, you're on first name terms.
Dave Letterman.
Wait, Fran, didn't you know she's their booking agent?
I love all of them.
Fuck me. Jesus, I should have been a lot nicer to you over the years.
I've told Jimmy Fallon everything you've said about him.
It's not funny.
Screw your face. I hate you.
I'm sorry. I know it's not the popular opinion.
Well, you know what I love about Jimmy Fallon is that he's like such a fangirl over everything. Like, he gushes during his interviews over, like, super famous people, and I'm like, well, that would be me, too. Like, he loves Justin Timberlake so much, and I can't help but laugh.
Yeah, I mean, to be totally fucking honest, like, you'd be hard-pushed not to love Justin Timberlake. The guy is kind of perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. My friend, oh my god, he's hilarious. He hates Justin Timberlake so much just because he's banged like all the girls that he has crushes on. That he hates him so much that he made a chart about it, and he's shown it to me multiple times.
Oh my god.
It's kind of sad.
He can go fuck himself.
Hey.
Hang on a minute, though. I think
I'm the only one who's allowed to tell him that. Thank you.
But hang on, like, hating a celebrity that everyone loves for no discernible reason. I think I might have met my perfect man.
Fuck you.
I mean, holy shit, though. Holy crap. Holy glob.
Well, he is single.
Wow.
Fran, you found your soulmate. Just get him to hate James Franco as much as you do. Hey, I read an article today that James Franco is starting an acting school.
Fran, as long as you're a hardcore Democrat, then he will love you.
Oh, I think if he could learn to hate James Franco, then I think we're set. I would describe myself as a hardcore Democrat. I subscribe to those notions.
You don't live in America, but you're totally a Democrat.
I would be a Democrat. If I was American, if there wasn't that tiny
ocean
little
in the way.
James Franco's starting an acting school. Sorry, it took me a while to process that information because I had to work through some rage issues.
You know what it is? It's the fuck you, I'm too cool for school.
That's exactly what it is. Fuck me. He's an asshole. I mean, what could he possibly teach these people? How to blink?
How to have great hair?
How to have terrible hair?
James Franco has lovely hair. I have to give that to him.
Yeah.
He's great at interacting with CGI apes.
That's true.
Very helpful in your career.
Hey, you'll like this bit that I read about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, that James Franco only has like a cameo. He's not going to be in the movie for that long.
Yes, I mean, to be honest, like, even James Franco couldn't have made Rise of the Planet of the Apes bad, though. Like, that is a quality film.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is going to be rad.
I'm so excited. Have you seen the trailer?
Yes, I have, and there was a big article about it in my Entertainment Weekly this week, and it's talking about how like there are barely any humans in this movie. It's all about the apes.
I know. I read something similar on IO9, and about like, yeah, they were saying like they saw some test footage of the apes like approaching a human character, and just like,
yeah, like the only human characters, it's like a couple other people that are gonna be in this human colony, and Gary Oldman, and
Gary
I'm like, if
Oldman.
I could have a movie full of apes and just one human in it, it would be Gary Oldman.
Yeah, like if it wasn't like it has to be like.
Sounds like they're all set, Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, your wish pretty much came true there. But no, I mean, he would be like, if I could handpick someone, like if it wasn't him, it would be like fucking Kenneth Branagh, like, or Jeremy Irons, or just someone fucking awesome like that. But Gary Oldman, man, that's awesome. But yeah, like, no, the apes, according to, like, the article I read in IO9, apparently, like, they've really, really evolved, like,
It's 10 years after Rise.
Yeah, so they're like...
10 years, it took them 10 years to rise, and now they're dawning.
No, they rose, and then it's 10 years later, and now they're dawning.
Wow, they're taking their slow-ass time, aren't they?
They have to build a civilization from the ground up with super intelligent apes.
Well,
the human civilization has been wiped out in 10 years.
Oh my.
I need to listen to... Okay, I know we have to finish the podcast, but I need to go and listen to the super clip of all the Excuse Me Princesses.
Oh, I don't want to hear that again.
Well, no, it's alright. I'm going to finish the podcast first, and then I'm going to go and listen to it. I think my favourite one has to be him falling off the cliff and just shouting, "Excuse me, princess!"
That's what he wanted his last words to be before he died.
I bet they were. They're going to be on his tombstone.
I was trying to talk about David Letterman. Let me talk about David Letterman. God damn it.
Sorry.
You changed the subject. No, I did, actually.
Fucking
it. So anyway... Because this means a lot to me in the sense that people were wondering why Craig Ferguson didn't get the job. Because Craig Ferguson comes on after Letterman, and they're with the same production team, I think. Worldwide Pants, which is David Letterman's production team or corporation, I think. And I'm like, that wouldn't work. I don't know, like... Because it reminds me of when Leno, when Conan was still on NBC, and he came on after Leno, and Leno had his audience. He had an older audience. Conan had his audience, which was a younger audience. He had this type of humor that fit a younger audience, which you can still see in his TBS show. Craig kind of has that same thing, where David Letterman has the older audience, and then Craig has this, like, younger, almost kind of stoner audience. I would describe his humor as, like, humor for, like, a stoned person. Which is totally why I watch that show every night. And I mean, Fran, you know Craig Ferguson. Like, I don't think his humor would fit an 11:30 audience.
No, I think, I mean, the talk shows over here are slightly, different, like, for example,
Graham Norton and Alan Carr, they're like just...
Yeah, and like Jonathan Ross.
They're like, crazy.
The thing is, like, all three of them are very, very raunchy. The late night monologues are very raunchy. They're very kind of one-liner based. Like, whereas there's much more variation in American late night shows. But I don't have as much of an input on it as you do, but I think you're right. I mean,
there's a formula. There's something that they call the late night formula, which Craig likes to make fun of.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he could do it seriously. Like, that's the thing. He tries to do a monologue at the beginning of the show, but then after, like, 10 minutes, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm done. I don't want to do a monologue anymore. It's not even a monologue. It's him coming up with the topic and then shooting the shit, because his stuff really isn't written beforehand. Like, most of everything he does is completely improvised.
Oh, cool.
So he would have to deal with, like, people writing jokes for him, and, like...
He would fucking hate that, I can
imagine. He would fucking hate it. And he would have to move his entire family to New York City.
he's a very like non-mainstream, like he kind of dances to the beat of his own drum, and yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he would fit. Whereas,
like he doesn't
Colbert,
do bits or anything like that. He shoots the shit with a robot skeleton, and then
yeah.
reads like 2 emails and then goes to commercial.
Yeah, and that's why people love him as well. Like you know, people want him to do it because they love him, but all the things that they love would have to be neutered.
Yeah.
If
I don't think he'd be
job.
able to bring over everything he does from the Late Late Show because it's just so off the wall, and it totally would not fit the Letterman audience, which is used to watching Letterman with the Late Show at 11:35. Which is kind of, and it reminds me of what happened with Conan and Leno when Conan took over the 11:30 audience for the Tonight Show. And his type of humor, from what I had read statistically, was not going over well with the Leno audience because his type of humor is just so much more different than Leno's. Because Leno had this formula that he followed, and Conan is almost like Craig in the way that he doesn't like to follow that formula very well. He likes to shoot the shit with Andy Richter and, you know, kind of do little improvised stuff, even though he does have stuff written for him. That he does follow that monologue formula, but he likes to do a lot more off the wall kind of humor.
I mean, it seems like a very like tenuous thing to get right,
Mm-hmm.
and I suppose like Conan was a risk, and it didn't pay off, so they probably are being a bit more cautious. But I think, I mean, I don't know a lot about Colbert because obviously the character that he plays on his show isn't really who he is. It's not going to be.
I want to see him on TV as not the conservative character. Like, I cannot wait to see that just because in real life he's such a sweetheart. From what I've seen, like, videos of him, like, as him in real life, like, he's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, and
He is a cool guy.
Yeah, he does seem like a cool guy, and I think you're right. I would be interested.
And he's a good interviewer. Like, I love his interview segments are really funny on The Rapport, and it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be wonderful.
I think it's gonna be wonderful, and I'm interested as well because, like, Letterman's been around for so long.
He's been
like,
around
I'm
for
looking
like at least 30 or 40 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm ready to see. I'm see something different.
I think Letterman is too. Like, I think he's kind of tired of it.
Yeah. Well, he's like 107.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking old.
Yeah. No, that would be Larry King. I think he's 107 at least.
Larry King, fuck me.
Larry King's like 3,000 years old.
Yeah, give or take 1,000 years.
I mean, like, a fair play to him, though. Like, he's still as sharp as ever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Like, my mom finds people like Betty White absolutely amazing. Because Betty White's like 92 years old, I think.
Betty White is awesome.
And she's still so sharp, and she doesn't miss a beat.
I
hope to be that awesome when I'm old.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I'm just sad. I'm just sad because I know that Betty White is probably gonna. I would
don't
say
say
she's
it, Fran. She will not. No, don't. She's immortal.
I get scared about people like that, like Betty, like really awesome old people like Betty White and like Stan Lee. I'm just like, I know they're gonna die like any day now.
No.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? Like, I mean, I would say that they probably, like Dick Van Dyke, Stan Lee, Betty White, they probably all got another 10 years in them. But
Betty White will not die.
I honestly,
She's immortal.
if we had to cryogenically if it was a choice between like her being cryogenically frozen and like just taking Walt Disney out and dumping him in a ditch, I would be fine with that.
No.
Proven that he wasn't frozen.
Yeah, we would have to prove that he was actually cryogenically frozen.
Hey, hold on, I just realized that Disney's not frozen.
Oh!
But Frozen
I'm funny.
Disney.
Speaking of Disney World, they're about to unleash their new ride.
We weren't speaking of
their new ride.
It's the Seven Dwarfs Minecart roller coaster, and it's gonna be rad as shit.
I heard about that, I think.
It's gonna be awesome.
So, like, do you actually hear them going, hi-ho, hi-ho?
It's like a roller coaster, but it's, like, in the mines, and it's like, oh my god. I also
that's
linked Fran the other day, or yesterday, to where they're almost done with Diagon Alley at Universal.
yeah. Now that is going to be
They're
awesome.
almost done. They're
I am
almost done with the
legit-
train and Diagon Alley. And
I'm legit jealous of you living in America. I can't even deal with
if I
it.
could, I would totally be there opening day. And it's probably going to open in, like, the end of June.
I wouldn't go opening day. It would be a mob scene. I'd
It
wait a
really
little.
would, but I wouldn't care.
Georgia, are you going to New York to see Aladdin? Is it you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, no!
I'm so jealous. Have you seen the guy playing the genie? He looks incredible.
I'm like subscribed to it on Facebook, so I've seen the pictures and stuff. But I am super excited. It's a late birthday present, and I'm stoked.
Don't listen, because I've listened to them all, because the odds of me seeing it on Broadway are slim to none. But like, don't listen to any of the bootlegs. Like, wait until
I don't want to. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
I just can't wait to see Jafar. It's like the old guy Jafar, you know.
I know. It's Jonathan Freeman, like the guy that voiced him in the movie. How amazing is that?
I know, but I've never seen what he looks like, so it'd be cool to actually see his face for once, you know.
I mean, he is gonna fucking tear it up. Like, I can't. And it's inevitably, it's got, like, if it's successful, which I think it will be because it's brilliant. Like, they've got to
excited. I can't wait. I'm stoked. I really am, because this is like my favorite Disney movie. So to like see it with like really good seats, by the way, and I don't mean to brag, but I'm just super excited.
You've got to tell me how Iago it is, because Iago is my favorite Disney character.
Yeah, I will mention everything next podcast.
Yeah, don't leave anything out. When are you going?
The June 29th. That's a Sunday, I think.
I'm staggeringly jealous. But yeah, no, the guy playing the genie.
It wasn't easy. A lot of it's sold out or like really crappy seats are available, and it's really expensive. So
I might go. I'm debating whether to try and get cheap seats for Book of Mormon on Monday. Like, I've seen it before.
How many times have you seen Book of Mormon now?
I've seen it once in New York and 3 times in England.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but like cheap. I would happily see Book of Mormon again. Book of Mormon is fucking sweet.
Awesome.
I should say I've only had 3 hours sleep, so if I'm a bit fuzzy today, that's why.
I woke up this morning, I'm like, my mom woke me up this afternoon, and then she's like, are you gonna get up? And I'm like, no.
I'm just
screw you. What the glob? Sorry, Georgia?
I'm just completely distracted looking at cute animals, so.
I thought you were gonna say cute asses.
I could do that too.
Well,
I don't feel like.
Obviously, that goes without saying.
It's me every day.
I'd rather look at cute kitties.
I know, right? Actually, what are they called? It's like a micro pig. Like, somebody sent me a picture and I died. Like, it's a pig, and it's not like a baby pig. It's just a particular breed of tiny pig.
Yeah, Joe loves pigs. Like, he's told me he wants to get one someday when we move in together. And if we get a micro one, I think that'd be fine because they only grow a little bit. And like, he can't even like look at pictures without just like being. He's so cute when he looks at a pig. He's so cute.
I have to say, like, that was the first time I've ever spoken to Joe, and he's a dude. I approve.
Aw, thank you. Yeah,
Did you just take a picture of yourself, Fran, 20 minutes ago while we were recording?
That's what I was wondering.
No, this is an ancient picture. I just found.
Okay. I thought you were like taking pictures of yourself while we were recording.
No, believe me, I do not look like that now. I look nice in that picture. I look like a piece of shit now.
Jeez.
I'm really sweaty. It's hot now.
It's funny, like, it's so normal for a British person.
What are you looking at?
Huh?
She's all sweaty. What is she up to?
No, I'm sweaty because it's hot. It's like the fucking temperature outside.
Is that the temperature generating from Chris Hemsworth's biceps?
It's just it's summer now, apparently.
Jesus. My attempt at subtle innuendo is appalling.
I know, I got it, but it's like, it's not even joking. It's like really, really hot outside.
It is. It's been like I've actually been going outside a couple times because it's actually nice enough to do so.
It's way too
really
hot.
pretty.
Yeah, it's funny
Yeah,
though.
I guess it's hot
It's the same here. The weather has suddenly gotten beautiful over here. It's really nice, and that's in England. Global warming,
Global warming's totally
fucking
real.
and it's awesome.
Until the birds come.
Oh Lord, birdemic.
You know what
I
was
think
weird?
you should-
When I went to England, it rained only once.
Wow, that's pretty lucky.
And it wasn't even a heavy rain either. It was like maybe a sprinkle or something. I know, it was so weird. Like I brought an umbrella. I was like prepared, and it was like kind of sunny
I
sometimes.
think Welshie was using his epic trolling powers to make the weather nice for you.
Trolling the sun.
He was totally trolling the shit out of that sun. By the way, Welshie and Panda are back with a new animated series I just discovered today.
I will.
That's what I'm doing after this. I'm watching it, so I'll be able to report back next week.
About that.
I'm legit excited. Like, I never thought, like, I didn't even think Matt was going to be back on the site, let alone the two of them doing anything else together, so I'm fucking happy.
Yeah, it should be pretty awesome.
This podcast should just be called Panchi Forever Podcast.
No, because then that means we'd have to talk about them every time.
Oh, yeah. I think
Well, it
maybe
would get old after a while. We'd run out of things to say.
I thought you meant this podcast specifically, in which case I would say yes, or just everything that makes Fran really fucking happy.
Aww.
Right now at this moment. Oh Jesus, no, I had a 7:30 a.m. shift, so I'm like deliriously happy not to be at work.
Yay! Francast, film brain and wine run supreme.
Oh Lord, okay, that's my night covered.
Hey, y'all, we gotta go. Mainly because my mom keeps bugging me to do chores.
And I think we ran out. So.
No, that's cool. But I like this. I think this podcast was legit us just shooting
really
the shit.
Was,
it felt.
Yeah.
Well, usually we're so well prepared.
Oh, totally. I had notes this time. I
Yeah,
had two things written on it because I didn't want to forget what to talk about.
See, I never take notes.
I wasn't. Yeah, I was just like,
run
let me
my map.
abbreviate this and.
But this felt particularly organic. This podcast, I liked it.
Yeah.
It gets my patented 5 thumbs up.
I will be probably freaking out about Captain America next week, so.
Yeah, you probably will. And no, there are no well, okay, maybe there's one Ash shot, but there's not that many, so.
Are they, are they
just-
Chris Evans or Scarlett Johansson?
I think both.
I approve
I'm
of both.
assuming you'll stay, I'm assuming you'll be staying after the credits, yes?
No, that's a Marvel thing now.
Yeah.
Vixen.
There's two things. The second one, the one in the middle of the credits, is one you really should stay for, and then at the one at the end, well, you don't have to stay for, but I guess you could.
Okay. Well, I'll probably stay for both of them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of would, I see no reason not to. But, I am gonna go and obsess about Adventure Time and probably Film Brain because, well, it's a day that ends with a Y.
Yay! Oh my gosh! Wait, before we go, remember last week I was mentioning the Game of Thrones wine or something? An ale actually. Somebody I know just posted it on Facebook. I'll link it to you.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
ale. It's an ale, not a wine.
Right.
Never mind.
Ale. Well, that's very British. We like our ale.
I love the bottles with those cool dragons on them.
Let me actually look at it.
They look badass.
Greer, could this tempt you to start drinking?
In a few months, yeah, when I can legally do it. Oh yeah, that's pretty fucking rad, actually. Those are Daenerys' dragons.
Hang on.
I'll have a pack of that for your birthday.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Okay, my computer's being really fucking slow, but I assume they're awesome. Going bid you all farewell now. But this has been lovely as always, and yep, this is me signing off to go and watch Adventure
Goodbye,
Time.
everyone.
Bye.